Reggie here, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. In this video, we are going to take a look at a couple of comics that I would absolutely not touch right now because of the timing and because of what these books are going for presently. These are comics that I would wait on. Let's check them out. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of examples of books that I would not buy, at least not right now. This is not a criticism of the books. It is more about the timing of the purchase, because some of these are some good books. I will tell you that. And the very first book that I would not buy right now is on the screen. It is Ultimate Spider-Man, but it is not the Ultimate Spider-Man from 2000. Not this one right here. It is this one, Ultimate Spider-Man #1 from 2024. And we are actually on Go Collect right now because I want to get a feel for what is happening with graded copies of this book. And again, this book is from Jonathan Hickman. It dropped January 10th. We knew that these books were coming back at New York Comic Con because Marvel made the announcement of multiple titles coming out as they kicked off the Ultimate Universe again. And so let's get a feel for what's happening with the graded copies of this book. There are a total of 122 universal copies out there. So all blue labels, no other labels have been graded thus far. There are 107 9.8s, 14 9.6s, and a lowly 8.5, a single 8.5 on the list. But let's look at what's happening here. Again, 9.8, 107 copies. There have been 8 sales of this book, and the most recent sales have been for $250. You can see that there have been 2 sales, $250, a third sale, $260, all 3 fixed prices on eBay. And then prior to that, there were a couple at $175 and then a couple at $200. And I wonder if these initial sales were all like pre-sale. Somebody was going to send the book out to be graded. And I wonder what's going on just because there is no certificate number for those books. So I might need to look at that a little bit closely on eBay. But the last 3, again, have been around $250 to $260. Not a ton of copies out there right now that have been graded. I imagine that there are a lot more sitting at CGC and potentially CBCS as well. I don't know if there's any CBCS data in here yet. Nothing showing up so far in terms of sales for CBCS. They also, Go Collect does not have a data feed to CBCS for us to be able to see what's happening in their database. So just throw that out there. All right. So what I did do, however, is I popped over to eBay because I wanted to see what was actually happening with Ultimate Spider-Man issue #1 on eBay. And so I am specifically searching for Ultimate Spider-Man #1 2024, and I have filtered for sold items. I only want to see sold items again to get a feel for what's happening over there. And you can see on February 10th, somebody paid $56.85 for a copy of this book to be shipped out of the UK. So they pay an additional $20 for shipping because of that. On the same date, somebody bought a copy for $60 here in the US. Same day, $65. The previous day, $60, $60. So this book is actively selling on eBay. Somebody paid $85 for this book, but they saved themselves. They're only paying $4.13 for shipping. This is not a book that I would touch right now. My general feeling is that people are swept up in FOMO. And as a result of that, they are rushing out and buying copies of this book on the secondary market, and they are paying a lot for these books. My general feeling is that the prices that we are seeing right now, $62, $65, is not what this book will be in a couple of weeks and a couple of months. This will not be what we are seeing. My general feeling is that the prices will fall for this book, and so it could be one that you choose to wait on. I've read it. It's not a terrible story. It's not a terrible story, but it's also not a $65 story. In my opinion, is not one that I would pay 65 bucks for. But as I mentioned, these books were announced back at New York Comic Con at the end of last year. And I want to highlight this second book. This is another book that was announced that has also been hot for a couple of reasons. It is Ultimate Black Panther issue #1. Penguin Random House has misplaced 12,000 copies of this book, which is contributing to the FOMO that people are feeling right now. And we're going to see what the prices are. I wanted to pop over to Go Collect again to see whether there were any copies that have traded hands. This book just recently came out, so I'm not surprised that there's nothing showing up here, but there are some variants. There are some variants, just like with Ultimate Spider-Man. There are some variants out there. And to that point, we are going to pop over to eBay to see what this book is selling for over there, because I think that some of the variants are actually popping up. So here we are. First book that we see is a variant cover, a retailer incentive sold raw on the 10th for $37. Their next one is another variant. I don't know what cover that is. Cover C, 20 bucks. Here is the, I think, is that the A cover? No, that's the second printing. Second printing, $6. Let's scroll down. Here we go. February 9th, somebody bought A cover, $34. Scroll down. Wow. I wonder what they paid for that. Probably, well, clearly south of 50 bucks they paid for it. See if we can find more A covers. A cover, 30 bucks, 40 bucks. 40 bucks, 34.99. Somebody paid $34.99, a couple of those in there. So again, $60, 2 copies. Somebody bought 2 copies for 60 bucks, smoking deal. So again, we see Ultimate Black Panther going for a lot more than its cover price. This book literally just came out and it's already blowing up. People are paying crazy amounts of money. My guess is that there is a bolus of books that are going to hit CGC and maybe CBCS, and we potentially will see crazy prices for the graded copies of this book as well. It would be par for course. And again, you may want to just hold off. You may want to hold off buying a copy of this book to see, what happens in a couple of weeks, in a couple of months, whether the price actually comes down. And again, if history is any indicator, that will probably happen. And you could pick up a nice copy of these books for a lot less money. What I will also say to you is don't get caught behind the 8 ball again. There is Ultimate X-Men that is going to be dropping in March. Peach Momoko, I do believe, is writing and drawing that one. Peach is a hot artist. You may just want to get yourself set up with a pull list at an LCS to avoid paying more than cover for a book that we already know is going to come out and we know is going to be hot. Add these books to your pull list. That way, you know that you have them and you don't have to rush to the secondary market to pay more than what you actually should. So that is my message for today. So the very last book that we are going to look at is another book that has gotten hot. It is Deadpool issue #67. And I do believe that this is the first time that Deadpool and Dazzler meet. And that is part of the reason why this book is hot. The other part is people still think that Taylor Swift is going to be a Dazzler. And as a result of that, these books associated with Dazzler are blowing up. This rumor goes back to 2016. It has come up time and time again because Taylor Swift recently had a comic that came out, because of who she's dating, because of the NFL attention. Now we are starting to see Deadpool 67 pop up. There are only 91 total copies of this book out there. 8 of those are signed. That leaves 83 that are Universal Blue Label. The 9.8 is what we are going to click on here, and you can see that uptick. The visual right there is there. Prior to June of 2023, this book was going for 70 bucks, and now in January of 24, this book is going for $150. Again, this is not a book that I would touch right now, but let's pop over to eBay to see what this book is doing on eBay. So let's go ahead and see if we can pull that up. And again, we've done the same thing here. We are searching for Deadpool 67. We can see that a raw copy sold on February 9th for $40. Same day, $33, $30, $80. That one's coming out of the UK plus $18 for shipping. Scrolling down, there's an 8.0. 8.0 graded. You may have seen that on the previous on Go Collect, a graded copy that actually sold for $33. There were 7 bids on that one with $14 for shipping. So again, my general feeling is that this book is hot right now, and once the FOMO passes, it will drop off again. That is my general feeling. So, at the end of the day, it is your money. It is your collection. It is your decision how you want to spend your money. But I would say that if we just look at what has happened previously, books that suddenly get hot will die off. And when they die off, that is a good time to pick them up, especially if you still want the book at that point, right? That's part of what you have to ask yourself is, why are you rushing out to buy the book? Why are you buying it? Are you swept up in the FOMO? If you wait a couple of weeks, wait a couple of months, will you even be interested in it at that point? So again, just a couple of books that I would not touch right now. I definitely would say sound off in the comment section and let me know. Let me know what you think. Did you buy it? Did you buy it for cover price? Did you buy it for over cover price? And why? Why? That is the question. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, I want to encourage you to give the video a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that as well. And if you want to reach out to me, you can do it on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.
This thing on? Mic check. I just want to make sure y'all can hear me clearly. Yo, should you practice art? Or should art be your practice? I had a question, so I asked it. Not to anyone specifically, but to my inner God, you know? The one that's gonna be a master. The one that's more than a rapper. The one that's an educator. The one that seeks enlightenment. He travels with concepts. He's got the mindset expansive. He understands that his time combined with travel and concepts makes his mind convex. Sort of like when you look at a brain scan. Straight off meditation, we was concaving until we had that eternal dialogue that created our dialect. Now we in distinct rooms of pure souls having them conversations. Synergy and combination.